one last thing. If we go to Windows and Styles, we can set up, let's set up an object style first. So I want to, here we go. So I'm going to create a new style sheet, and I'm going to call it right click, and I want to edit object style sheet. Now give me all these attributes. So I want to stroke around it, and by clicking on stroke, I can then determine that I want it to be size 7 font, and I want it to be black. I don't want any fill. I want it black around the outside. And I also want a drop shadow. That'd be nice. And I want it to be, yeah. And what I can do then is I can, if I select, can I do that? No, I can't. Okay, so I'm just going to say okay with that. So if I press that image, and I want to say, there we go. So it's giving it the style that I've depicted. And what I could do then is, if I wanted to, I could do the same with that one as well. Can I just say that that's not something that I would choose? So that style sheet's dead easy to set up. They've got lots of attributes. I'll leave you to play with that. So that's objects. Exactly the same thing. We go. Styles. We'll go to character styling. New, and we'll call this header. Nope. Edit character style. We'll call it header. Okay. So I want it based. Oh. Okay. So I want to edit it now. Edit the header. So it's going to be font family. Let's choose Rockwell. I want it to be bold, and I want it to be 18. I want it to be black fill with no outline, and I don't want any of those things. Don't want it underlined. Okay, cool. So I'm going to type header. It's actually done it for me. Let's just change that back to okay. So there it is. I want to change it. I want to highlight it, and then I can just go double click. Oh, just click on it, and it does it for you. Okay. So do another one. Body. Doesn't have to be based on anything. I want to change that now to maybe Arial. I want to change it to size 8 font. Okay, so let's insert text. It's done it for me. Now what that means is that you've got consistency right the way through your document. If you're using your headers, your bodies, your taglines, whatever, that would be really cool for you. Now, you cannot override all these elements. So even if you've given it a character style and you want to change it, you can. You can make it regular. You can change the color. Okay, but you'll get this little sort of plus sign next to it. Okay, that it just shows you you've overwritten something. Also, with your text, you can change your line height. And you can obviously set those up in your things as well. You can change your tracking. So say, for example, you've only got a certain amount of space. You can tweak your tracking and your line height just to sort of, but you wouldn't do it so much that it would be that noticeable. Okay? So that's setting up character styles. You can also set up paragraph styles, which will then do your aligning, which will do sort of lots. Let's do that as well. Edit styles, and it's important that you give things names because you don't know. You know, if you're creating a large document, if you don't create do all those things, then you're going to get lost. So you can set your tracking, you can set your leader, you can set your line, your height. You can set your spelling, which is quite cool. Left alignment, right alignment, center. You can tabulate, you can hyphenate. So if you don't want anything hyphenated, color. So once you've done that, you can then say, right, okay, I'm going to highlight that, and then I'm going to, he says, why didn't my color work? Okay, come on. Maybe because, I don't know, not entirely sure why that didn't change to blue. Maybe because it's overwritten by the character style. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, so that's that. Again, you can give this different attributes as well. One last thing. So at the moment, that's got an outline around it. Again, you can just look at here. You can just change varying things. Sometimes quite nice is to round off edges. All these different line attributes as well. Okay, and it's all very flexible. And if you want to go back to your base grid, if you go view, you can go to grids and you can look at your base grid. And that grid, you can line up things. So say, for example, snap to document grid. It'll only snap to the lines that you've got there created. And if you wanted to edit those, you can. You just go into your document setting. And again, that will give your document a lot more consistency.